Look at this. I got headphones on. I got a mic going. Baby.
If
Huh?
only people could see you now.
Hey, no video. We've gone through this before.
All right,
No
all right,
video.
all right. Welcome to This Commerce Life. This is a podcast aimed at small, medium entrepreneurs focused on commerce. I'm Phil, your host, and Kenny, your co-host, will join us as well. And we're going to talk to you about the world of retail and commerce and how things are changing in the world. There we go. Apologize for that. Zoom's misbehaving. I was sitting in the same room, but it wasn't connecting us, so I had to.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Where the hell were you?
No, I was just saying. I was sitting in the same room, but Zoom wasn't connecting.
I got time constraints. I got ice cream that I got to go have. I was going to make a cup of tea. I had to run upstairs because I don't want to be late for Phil and Barry. What the hell's going on in the kitchen?
Oh, goodness.
Holy
Goodness.
shit, man.
Barry, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Phil.
Yeah.
There.
Man.
Yeah, thanks for roping me in.
Whatever. What else are you going to do on a Thursday night?
That is not what he said. He said, "Oh, he'll be on."
Well, you know what it's like, Phil. You get these podcast virgins, and they're just they're just all stressed out and anxious about these complicated podcasts we do.
Yeah.
Bear's first thing. Well, what I need to do, I sign on. Well, and I don't do anything else.
We almost didn't even get that right for you. You got signed on, and we couldn't get signed on.
He's texting me, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm coming, and then I'm going, and there's no me. Where the hell's Phil?
Yeah.
No, bottom line, if Phil's not involved, we're not doing this. This ain't gonna happen. Like, there's no hope for this podcast. Like, zero.
Yeah, Zoom's been doing weird things though. Like, because I was sitting in the room, and I was like, okay. Where's everybody, right? And then you're like, we're here, where are you? I'm like, what is going on here? So anyway.
I'm thinking I've been set up.
Yeah.
I've been hooked by Minucci.
They're sitting in a dark room at 8 o'clock, and I went, thanks, man.
Are you getting your son to deliver your tea now too?
That's
What's
my
going
baby.
on there? Like,
Well, that's because you took too long. I rushed for you. I could have stayed downstairs for a little while.
Yeah, you could have.
All right.
Man. So Podcast Nation, we have a special guest today. Kenny, do you want to do the honors?
Sure. So today we've invited a really, really, really nice guy on to the show. I've known Barry for 27 years now. I know it because Amelia and I's anniversary is today.
Oh, wow. Happy anniversary.
And I think I already had known you. No, I lied. 1990, I think. Yeah. 29 years.
Yeah.
Because we were in the Broadway store of London Drugs almost 30 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Barry's a buddy from London Drugs. Okay. More my age, Phil, not so a youngin' like you. But I thought it'd be cool to have Barry on tonight because Barry was with London Drugs for a number of years, did a career change in the fall, is now with, I can say who we're with, right?
Yeah.
Barry, can I tell him? I can tell him who we're with, right, Barry?
Yeah.
Okay, so Barry's now with Imperial Distributors of Canada, which is a drug wholesaler.
Okay.
Reason I thought he'd be great, Phil, because one, Barry was an incredible store manager.
Put up with you for 29 years.
Well, I know.
Be great.
That's quasi. That's a whole different podcast. Yeah. That's a religious podcast. Forget that one. But on this one, he's a great store manager, great district manager, great mentor, gets change management, like all the shit we've been talking about the last couple of weeks. Especially, I thought it'd be great to sort of augment Lori, who's been more life coaching and career coaching, where Barry has been more involved with store staff and now with warehouse staff in his new roles. And I just thought it'd be cool. And plus, he's at the age that I was, or whatever we are, where he's gone through some changes in the last little bit, and to show people that you can still make it through changes that are, pretty cool and at great stages of life, right?
Yeah.
Not every change has to be, so stress laden or anxious laden. Like, a lot of cool shit out there. Like you and I talk all the time. Like, just a lot of cool shit out there. Yeah. And I think Barry's probably just finding that out or figuring that out himself. So
that's
anyway,
amazing.
Barry Mark is our guest tonight, and happy to have him here.
Yeah. Welcome to the show.
That's the nicest I'll ever say about you, Barry. Take that and run. It's recorded. You can even say that it's on tape, because that'll be the last time I say anything that nice.
Yeah, I think you said it. You set up the plate where I've known you for just shy of 30 years.
Yeah.
I could have killed somebody, but out of jail.
Yeah, seriously. In less time.
In less time.
On good behavior, probably 9 extra years.
Yeah.
But anyways, no, it's been wonderful, and Kenny and I have been conversing a fair amount. As he said, I kind of had a life change, a midlife crisis last October. I grew up with the London drugs for 35 years and had midlife crisis and needed to try something different, and kind of went from some soul searching. I looked at the cannabis industry through my networking. People connected me with all sorts of kind of different opportunities. All I can say is, you only know what you know. And I only knew London drugs. And sure, I transferred stores, changed management in every store, because 100 different personalities in each store.
Yeah.
Then you kind of go up the corporate ladder and change management. You kind of go into different roles.
Yeah.
You go into the office, opens up another can of worms.
Yeah.
And again, it's kind of a little bit of Survivor. You kind of play the politics, but again, bottom line is people are people, right? Business is business.
Yeah.
And I've always been a true kind of realist in how I kind of deal with things. I grew up in the prairies, just prairie boy, so I kind of work ethic is all there, and I just want to kind of get it done. But I also like to have a good time, and those who know me, my character, that's right. So so it's been pretty cool. I had options. I get, like I said, in different aspects of the cannabis industry. I went to Vegas and experienced that show, and it was that was craziness.
Yeah.
Went to the Vancouver show here. It was just interesting to just kind of look through life through a different scope instead of through the corporate London drugs world.
Yeah.
And life there's a lot out there. I know it's easy to say now that I'm on this side.
Yeah.
They always say, the grass is always a different shade, different greener, whatever.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, I personally, for my mental health wise, I don't think I've been in a better place.
Yeah.
Do
you mind? So, because I think Kenny's right. It's really timely. We have a lot of people that listen to us that are either starting to go through the changes that you're going through, who are, feeling some angst about what all that looks like. So when you kind of had a midlife crisis, was that this year or last year?
It was in the fall of 2018.
In the fall. Okay. Yeah. And so, what's kind of, do you kind of remember what the sequence of emotions are? I think those are it's funny because as today, one of the big companies that I work for went through a whole set of layoffs. And it's funny because there were, the range of emotions. There are a whole bunch of people that were like super excited. Actually, no, almost nobody gets excited. I get excited. Everybody else, I am. I'm abnormal, but everyone else, kind of freaks out. And then they all ask me the same thing, which is like, what does it feel like? And they're always surprised because my first response is actually, you actually do freak out. Like the first day when I was done with work and the email stopped coming, I was there in my own personal Gmail. There's nothing but spam in it. It's the first, it's almost the first real tangible moment, at least for me. That was the first tangible moment. I went, holy crap, I'm out of that thing I was doing, and maybe nobody gives a crap like what I'm, you know what I mean? Like, so I think I'm after a little bit of that because I think people, that'll help them relate a little bit more.
Yeah. Again, you only know what you know. And like you're caught into that treadmill, you're just not going anywhere, and you just find that. I find same thing, like the amount of email that you get accustomed to it's ridiculous, right? Because it's easy to CC everybody on everything. And then really, when everything is important, nothing's important, and nothing gets done.
Yeah.
Right. So I in my new consulting role now, I believe that I have so much more time to be creative thinking and talk business and mentoring and coaching, which that's always been my passion through all my career.
Yeah.
And it just allows you to just look through life in a different scope.
Yeah.
Right. Versus shit. You got to have a purpose, and I call it the midlife crisis, whatever. You have to wake up with a purpose.
Yeah. But what are the emotions like? Sort of what Phil's saying, Bear. Like so. Yeah. But when the day comes and you think, okay, you know what, time for change, going to do something else. Like, I'll give you like when I for me, I mean, I knew I was going to go. I gave my notice. I was going to do my thing.
Yeah.
And, we went to Europe and we came back and I'm thinking, okay, here we go. And then fucking nothing's happening and nothing's happening. Fear sets in, anxiety.
So in your case too, like, so I think from both of you, it's almost like, so let's say, we're middle of May. So end of May, you're done. You submitted your resignation. So you go on vacation for a couple of weeks, 3 weeks or whatever. Right?
I did it. Well, a month from today, 3 years ago, I left. I left the company. I go on vacation for 3 weeks. I come back. I figured, here we go.
So it doesn't feel like it yet, right? Because right now, at the end of like, you submit your resignation, you're kind of like, woo, I'm out, right? Like I'm gone. We're going to Europe. I'm thinking about Europe. 3 weeks later, you come back. What's the first thing? Like, do you kind of go, do you roll into it and go, all right, here we go. Like, or does
I thought that's what was going to happen, and I kind of did that. And then the first week goes by, and you're thinking, "Oh, okay, well, much going on." And then the second week goes by, and you're thinking, "Okay, fuck, there's still a lot of shitload going on." And then you're into month 2, and you're thinking, "Jesus, like what the? Well, nobody like me anymore." Like I mean, I thought I was a relatively nice person. Like, okay, like seriously, hey guys, hello, I'm over here. And I told you, like it took me. I mean, I'm not lightning fast like superstar, or over here. Because he'll tell you in a second, but he finds stuff right away. It takes me like, me and Amelia were talking tonight at dinner. Like, I don't think I found or caught my groove until about month 8.
Okay.
And then since then it's gone Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
But I went through like fear. I think I told Barry, I think I told you, Phil, like I've gone through a little bit of depression. Like it was like, it was hard. So Bear, like, that's, I guess what I even like, that's more what I'm like, how do you do it? Like what did you like? Did you go through that? Like the fear, the anxiety, the depression? Did you just pick up and away you went?
You go through the whole range of it. It's kind of like you're going through a trauma, right? Changes.
Yeah.
As much as you think, okay, with any change comes risk, right? And it's kind of like, okay, so mentally, as much as you want to prepare, you're just never ready for any trauma, right? And when you've been doing something for so long, it's like, okay, so through the process, I'll say I didn't know what I wanted, but I know what I didn't want.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fair enough.
Was the corporate shit.
Yeah. Okay.
So again, you as an individual need to weigh things out, right? Like you can stay in the box, and it's like, okay, is it safe? Sure, but again, you got to live with that, right? So again. It's a risk thing. You step out. There's no guarantees that you're going to succeed.
Yeah.
You find out what you're made of, and you could go off the deep end too, no question, right? But you definitely get challenge your mental fortitude, right? And I'll say when I was searching, my dad had his 3rd jammer. Wow. Like shit. Like, okay, can anything else happen? Like,
yeah.
But you know what? We survived. We got through it. And what?
Yeah.
You fight. I have two kids similar to Kenny's age, 22, 24. And I just say, hey, shit happens in life, and life throws you curveballs, but you got to fight. You can only go woe is me for so long.
Yeah.
And away you go.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's life, right? Nothing's going to be given to you on a silver platter. You got to work hard. And again, I bring in my prairies upbringing and my dad's, he immigrated to the prairies and raised the family, and you got to work hard for it. Right.
So when you decided to step out, what, did you have a plan in mind, or did you kind of have to go out and discover, we talk about that a lot, like knowing what you want to be when you grow up and all those sort of things. So when you left London, did you have a plan of what you wanted to do, or was it kind of like, okay, I gotta,
do you know yet?
Yeah.
From my plan then. Do you know what you're doing, Bear? Do you know what you want to be when you grow up?
I don't know. So that's what I ask people. I don't get asked. Again, you self-assess and you think, okay, I've done this job for over 3 decades.
Yeah.
What did I do? And I'll say one big thing is that you pen to paper what your skill set is. And I know where, even in my positions that I took within the company, I always wrote down this process about, okay, what are my key traits that I need in a job that satisfies me, and then I match them to the job that I think that I might go after. And
okay,
does it meet it?
That's very thoughtful.
That's interesting. I didn't think you were that thoughtful. Wow. I mean, I knew you're good. I didn't think you were that good.
You're a beauty. But I think honestly, when people get stressed out, like mental stress, pen to paper really helps the process. I believe, because it gets it out of your head. And then you can brainstorm. Okay, you know what? I'll write this down, and then you visualize it, and then you kind of start organizing. Well, I'm as anal as they come, but I mean, I just need to write shit down. And it's like, okay, boom, you open that door, and then you start extrapolating stuff, and you mind map stuff, right?
Yeah.
So when you internalize things, we all know it. It's not healthy.
Yeah.
Right?
It's hard not to do that, though, right?
No. But there's always a balance. Right? Trust me. You can think it's like, okay, you know what? When I was searching, I did all the grocery shopping. I was coming back and I said, honey, I got this on sale. And she goes, okay, you need to find something because we have.
When you get to know the coupons, it's time to get a job.
Oh, honey, but this is $1 cheaper than. It's like Easter coming out of me, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's good. Yeah, I got a whole 50-cent coupon on this puppy.
Oh my God.
Why I bought a dozen, I don't know, but that's all good.
But again, the question is having a purpose. But knowing what skill set you have, and then trying to tailor a job towards it. But I think if you, and Kenny and I have talked a lot, is when we're together with some peers, we look at each other, we got like, holy shit, we got like over 100 years of experience.
Yeah.
And I think people really truly in our stage at this time, they underestimate their value.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It's a skill set.
Yeah.
Right? You can chase it. There's always a job that will pay shitloads of money, whatever, but there's always a cost to it.
Yeah.
Right? There's no way that I would do any of the other senior management stuff when the kids were young, but why have kids if that's the case?
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's always a sacrifice, and they're only young once.
So I want to go back for a second, because there are two things in there that I think you did that you're particularly thoughtful at that I think people struggle with, right? So one is, and like, these are things that I think Kenny and I both have some skill in, but we also don't articulate very well. I'm being very careful because the minute I compliment Kenny, he kind of turns and runs away. So he hates that kind of thing. So
not big enough because it'll just go into a split.
he gets all embarrassed,
okay.
and I gotta
Anyway. Come
you
on.
see what I'm saying? But so the skill thing, like if I combine that with what you know, and you only know what you know, right? And so I get that a lot. Like if you take a salesperson who comes out of a sales job, they go, I don't have any skills. Like I know how to balance a P&L, and I know how to track trade spend and investment. And it takes a bit of time to show them what the real world application is for very, because when you're in a head office job, balancing a P&L, knowing what GL codes get charged certain things, your buy budgets, your inventory levels, those are things that are, they're big office things, right? They're not necessarily every company things. How did you go about, kind of translating those kind of big corporate-y things into real world skills on paper? Were you able to do that on your own, or did you kind of get someone to help you, or what I mean?
Through all my career in store, in the management in the store, there was always corporate reporting and all that. And honestly, I can say it, very few people understood them.
Yeah, totally.
Myself, I thought, okay,
here
are people managing multi-million-dollar establishments, stores, and have no idea the financial accountability. It's pretty scary.
Yeah.
So I actually took it upon myself to actually teach them, coach them. Yeah. I mean, shocking that you would do that, with people.
Yeah, imagine that, hey?
Coaching. What?
Train your people. Wow, that's a wicked concept.
What is going on here?
Who does that shit?
There's an expectation of, okay, boom, you meet this criteria, boom, here's a set of keys, or here's a job, and away you go. And okay, go clip your wings and away you go. And
but the assumption would be you probably already knew it. That's what I think the problem sometimes with that is too, Bear, is that if I gave you the keys to the store and you're the store manager, I assume you should know how to do this.
Well,
but if I don't ask you, you know what I mean? But I just assume. I mean, I think that's just a general assumption that you'd make. Well, the guy's been doing it for 25 years. Obviously, he knows how to read financials. Obviously, he knows what a turn is.
Yeah.
Obviously, he knows how to manage margin.
Yeah.
All the obvious things that are so not obvious because you don't know what people know until you ask them.
Well, and what's been neat in my early on my consulting role is I've always asked a lot of questions, and I just ask questions. Do you know what you're doing? Like, do you understand it? And I'm not respectfully, I'm asking, and they're like, and they give me the deer in the headlights. It's okay. Let's start with the basics, because there's you can't bullshit your way through life. Right.
Yeah.
But I think if people are honest with people right from the get-go, you get buy-in. You again, through my career, I've mentored so many people, and Kenny, I've said this to you. I said, leading is creating other leaders.
Yeah,
not telling.
Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there patience that you need to kind of sit down with people? Everybody has a different skill set, but that is, to me, the biggest asset that a person can have. People can learn jobs, but if you don't have the people skill set to communicate,
it's tough.
Right? You look at how the business schools have changed.
Yeah.
Before it was all on grades, but they soon changed as they had no idea in the real life, right?
Yeah.
So now it's all about the profile, right?
Yeah.
Everything, right?
Yeah.
So that's changed. They saw that.
Yeah.
So when you're dealing with people now, Bear, like, so let you because you're in a new role, and if in fairness to say, I mean, you're seeing things that probably don't shock you because you came from a corporate world, and this is by far a much smaller corporate world, but it's still a corporate type of world. Are you? So when you're especially with some of the younger people that we both work with now, are you asking them to sit down and write down the skill sets? Like, are you walking them through this process before they get into a change that they knew was coming or didn't know was coming? Are you saying, listen, okay, write your skill sets down. Let's walk through them.
Well,
Because a lot of people don't know what a skill is. I mean, listen, you know when people say, what do we do? I don't know what we do. I don't know what we do. I mean, and yet people value what we seem to know or understand, right? And it's not because, listen, we've all had a lot of experience, but you know what I mean? Like,
wait, what do you mean you don't know what you do?
Well, you know what I mean? Like, it's sometimes like, it's funny. Like people ask people ask me like, what are you doing now? And I tell them, well, I have these accounts and I go in and they say, well, what do you do? And I go, well, I just do me. I don't know. I go in, right? And you talk and you listen and you think and you strategize, but it's not like I go in with a book and start on chapter 1. Like you just do.
You do the Venucci.
Do because it just comes naturally to you, right?
Well, whatever the skill set I have comes naturally, but it's not natural. It's been 35 or 40 years in the making, right? I've been in retail since 14.
Barry, this is what I'm talking about, right? Like, so sorry, Kenny, I'm not picking on you. I'm just saying, I think that what you have a skill in articulating what you have, right? Like Kenny has talent that he doesn't even realize, right? That's all I'm going to compliment. Don't get all crazy, Kenny. But all I'm saying is like, he's got this ability to work with operators and really help them understand what their problems are, to help them take them apart, help them figure out what next steps are. But
is that what I do?
Yeah, I think that's what you do.
Wow.
I mean, I kind of
sounds pretty cool
all this time, right? But
you should write that down for me so I can use that, so I can tell people that's what I do.
It's recorded. If you listen to this podcast,
but then I got to go take the notes. Why can't you just send me a transcript or something?
I'll get right on that. Just keep checking your email. But you know what I'm saying? Like how do you? Because you clearly got a talent for that. You figured out how to do that. I think that translation is key, right? Like helping people understand. Like Kenny's a full step ahead because he actually understands what his talent is. He doesn't know how to articulate it, but he knows what it is, right?
Yeah, but how do you teach that? See, the difference, this is why I wanted Bear on, is because and he coaches me on the side. He doesn't think I know he's coaching me, but I know he's coaching me. So I know he's asking, like, I'm thinking, fuck, Bear, like, don't this bullshit question. Don't play that game. Okay, sir. Just point me in the direction you want me to go and just say, listen, this is where I want you to go. Just shut up and go. None of this mamby-pamby's got to walk me through a baby buy-in, whatever. Just tell me what you want me to do. So but see, he's good at that.
Yeah.
Even when I know he's doing it to me, I still buy in. See, because he's got that skill. He understands how to grab that whatever nugget he sees in a person and take him there.
Yeah.
See, and you're right. And I think it is in the articulation. Like the fact that, write down your skill set. I've never written down a skill set. I told you, I did that one proposal. I almost had a heart attack.
Barry, I'm sorry for you. I understand your pain.
Yeah.
This is why I need him on. We had Lori on and now Barry. I need help.
I understand you, man. I'm sorry. I'm here for you anytime you want. You want to talk about Venucci, just call me over. I'm good. So.
But how do you manage that? How do you manage someone like me then? Like, what are you going to do? Like, how do you get me to sit down and write these things down so I understand what you're trying to tell me?
So from assessing wise, and obviously everybody's different, and you're just a shitload of energy, right? So all I need to do is kind of contain your energy and kind of just strategize it and get you to visualize step by step of kind of where you go. You want to go from 0 to 100, right? In a second.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas, or less sometimes, right? And on to the next thing. And you might have half an emotion in you.
No, a little bit sometimes.
Maybe.
Well,
But I think in today's workforce, there's all from demographics, everything. And you really have to, you can't cookie cutter your message. And I think that's one thing that I know that I have been able to use to my benefit through my career, and even as a person too, is that what, hey, I will assist anybody who needs help, right? And I was like, I have no problem giving tough love if the person can take it.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody
hear it.
Yeah, well, if somebody is very fragile, there's no way that I would go hard at them.
Right.
There's no way, right? But you got to see those cues, right?
Yeah.
But again, it's a tough skill set to teach. I think you just either have it or you don't.
Yeah.
But I think step by step you can kind of learn, and I know working with the group that we have now, I had one lady come up to me and she asked me this question. I said, and I just kind of tilted my head and I looked at her and she goes, "You know what I'm going to say, right?" Because yeah, why do you need my approval? Just go through your process as we have talked.
I guess it's just a validation until they get good at it.
Self-confidence exudes everything.
Yeah, but you're teaching them that. Like it takes practice to get to that point. And maybe the fourth time she's going to come and ask you that, before she asks, she's going to sit, I already know the answer. And she walks away. And then she's learned.
Telling me about stuff that they've done, which is awesome.
That's awesome, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. Right? And, you know, I've had, again, many conversations with people and I've had people break down. It's like, oh, I've never had anybody ask me that before. And I'm thinking in my inside voice, I'm thinking, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
How could you be in this job for this long and no one ever asked you what you want to do? Yeah. To me, that's just embarrassing as a leader.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
but
it happens though. It happens all the time. Yeah.
Well, I was telling Bear,
it's quite sad, right? But yeah, it does.
I was telling Bear before we got yesterday when I was asking him if he wanted to do this, Phils. I say, the challenge, when you're in a big corporate or corporations that have people and you can do the courses and you have a human resource department, blah, 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 all that stuff. But, you take it down to a lot of our listeners who are either entrepreneurs on their own, who don't write down their skill sets and don't do a self-evaluation and understand it. Or let's say they have a store or a small company of 10 people. Are they doing that? Are you asking your receptionist what she wants to do? Have you asked her what schooling? Have you asked her anything, or him, to see if they want to go up? And have you gone up to maybe if you're more senior people and asked them really if that's what they want to do or what their aspirations are? Like, do we do that as leaders in general? Like, I mean, see, Barry, I know you said it's embarrassing, and I agree with you. I hate to tell you, I think that is probably more the norm than not.
Yeah.
I don't think this abnormal. That's scary. Yeah. But I don't think it's abnormal.
Yeah. And I think, going to small companies now, sure, it's different. It's great. It's changed. But there's obviously, from ownership wise, there's a lot. It's 24/7, right? Right. If you own your own business, right?
Totally. You got nobody else. And
so I'll use that example at the trade show we went last time, Kenny. Right?
Yeah.
Where the question was asked. Okay, so who? I think it was asked, like who has somebody to run their front shop, right? And the pharmacist kind of said, "Well, I don't have anybody. I'm too busy in the back." And I told you, I said the question should have been asked of the group, whose business is it? That's a deep question because you own that. Yeah. So if you don't give a shit,
you get what you get.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So what it was, Phil, one of the questions was they were asking, because it's all pharmacy owned and operated, right? Or pharmacists owned and operated.
Yeah.
And, I'm busy, I've got scripts, or, I can't find, a pharmacist, and, it's on and on and on. And Barry was valid saying, but the front shop is yours as well.
Yeah, you own it all, right?
You own it. So when you're complaining about this shit, look in the mirror, because you're the one that has the choice or the option or the ability to fix or don't fix this. Yeah. But you got nobody else to look at. It's yours.
Yeah.
Right? If you don't have a front shop manager, guess what?
Yeah.
Fix it.
Yeah.
Or own it. Whichever one. If you don't want to fix it, that's fine too. I guess.
Your episode 2 weeks ago with Lori about how to pick up issues you don't want to do and fix them. Yeah.
And the choice is yours.
Yeah.
Nobody enjoys conflict. However, but from a business opportunity, and again, I've always been a merchant, a shopper, a business person. So I look at and it's storytelling, right? And when I was in operations, I'd walk the store with management and say, "Okay, so what do you see from the customer's perspective, not from compliance from the company? What do you?" I go, I see you don't give a shit about this end.
And what do you think the customer sees?
Yeah.
Right.
Same thing.
Same thing, right? There's no sign on it. Would you buy it? No. Well, then why put it up then?
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. But it's just, it's taking the time. It's taking the time on both sides. It's taking the time as a leader to walk your people through it. And again, you're not belittling, you're asking. So when they're looking at it, learn from this. To see what I see, this is what you need to look at too. And most times, people think, oh shit, man, I didn't think of that. I didn't go down that path. That's why we're leading.
Yeah.
We're trying to teach you.
You empower people. And then at the next time, it's like, hey, come look at this.
Oh. Exactly. Now they're excited to show you.
Exactly. And that's leading.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Nice. Because again, if people are focusing on the wrong things, right?
Well, who owns that?
Yeah. There we go. But it's a boomerang, right? It ends up on management or the owner, however you want to describe it.
Yeah. It doesn't matter who it is, right?
Yeah.
Right? Nobody, okay, I don't want to deal with that employee. Okay, well, let's sweep them under the carpet.
Yeah.
But it's impacting more of the good employees if you're not addressing it.
Yeah.
Well, emphatically what happens, and the good employees think, well, fuck, I mean, really? I'm going to kill myself if that person there doesn't give a shit and nobody cares to do anything. Why am I killing myself?
Yeah.
That's the last thing you need.
Yeah.
Right? The last thing you need.
Yeah. We're getting to the end of this podcast. We're going to do it backwards a little bit. Barry, I didn't ask you what you do now. So we're giving all this so people are learning.
Barry, what do you do?
What do you do now?
Tell you. So
4 months, I don't know.
I created my own consulting company.
Okay.
And so basically, I right now I currently am employed by Imperial Distributors.
Okay.
And so we have 2 depots, Richmond and Edmonton.
Okay.
I go to the Edmonton depot once a month for 4 days.
Okay.
So I've just been assessing personnel, processes, everything, the supply chain. So
got it.
Yeah. And I'll say I'm going over and beyond the kind of consulting. This is new to me. I consult, I report, but I also coach and mentor at the same time. So it's kind of it's a good change.
It's a good gig.
Nice. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. I'm really glad you came on the show.
Like Lori's gave us inspiration. This one here gave us inspiration.
Yeah.
What's going on in the kitchen, buddy?
Well, this one gave us a lot of inspiration because he's put up with you for a very long time.
Whatever.
And
that's a treat.
And he's navigated, this career change and done quite a good job at it, right? So I think both of those are pretty inspirational, right? So
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's a good start to I've been calling it my new journey. So it's pretty to be working with some cool people and just living life in a different spectacle. That's pretty cool. So,
and how long have you had the consulting company
now? 4 months.
Okay. So how does it feel 4 months in? Like, do you still have, because you've got this kind of really solid kind of working arrangement that's going right now, this good contract. Do you still have, like, is it kind of steady for you now? Do you have panic moments still? Do you worry? I'm still trying to tap that emotion for people who might be changing. Yeah, and I think it's a good start to the journey. And I actually connected with Kenny and try to, because he's got multiple clients right now, and I just have the one right now. Yeah, that's kind of consuming my time. But I'd like to kind of venture out and just kind of see like tidbits of, and then I'll have more chats with Kenny and just kind of, because he's saying, hey, there's lots out there. There's
so much shit out there, man.
Yeah.
And again, I fully emerged into this situation right now, but I'm open to other stuff right now, right? So it's again, networking is networking, and I wouldn't have been able to kind of get through those connections with cannabis or here without knowing people. Yeah.
So how do people get a hold of if they want to talk to Bear?
I have my email address at barrygmark@mac.com.
Okay.
And my consulting company is Bait, which is BAAE8, and the initials of my kids and my wife and myself,
Okay.
and 8 for the Asian thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Give yourself a bit of luck.
there'll be a link and Barry's email in the podcast description. So if you're looking for Barry, you can find him there as well.
How bad was that, Bear? Come on.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
That was awesome, man.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll definitely check back in with us. We'll have you back on in a couple of months and see how things are going. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, pretty not a bad gig though. I felt like, I mean, if you think about it, when we started and we were talking, and because when did we start this? We started this in December 17, right?
Yes.
November, December, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And at that time, we were both still pretty fresh, but well into it. Not like this one. Like we were still well into it, and still probably a lot more apprehensive and anxious than he is.
Oh yeah,
like,
no.
I mean, seriously, you do 35 years.
Yeah.
You're only out of the game for like 3-4 months.
Yeah.
And you're back in the game pretty solid for 4 months. You know what I mean? Like I you know, shit, man.
No, you're well ahead. I mean, at 4 months in, I had gigs going, but there were still lots and lots of panic moments, right? Like, you know, the ones that really get you are, you know, the moments that get me, that still get me, are the quiet moments. All the moments that I love the most now are the ones that still get me a little bit, because there's a moment where you run your own business. If I want to step away and hit a bucket of balls, I can. But that moment is also the moment that, you know, kind of corporate life has taught you to go, oh shit, it's quiet. What is happening? Yeah. I should be doing busy work of some sort, right? And I feel like one of the best things about what we do now is you don't have to screw around with all that crap of like busy work, right? You're either doing work or you're not.
Or you don't have
right?
to.
But I know you want to cut her off. But I want to.
No, it's okay. Yeah.
I think that's the coolest thing now moving forward, is that when people reach out to me, hey, I'm flexible.
Yeah.
I work. Work ethic will never be questioned.
Yeah.
Make time for the things that are important in life.
Yeah.
Kenny and I are in it. You're much younger, I'm assuming. Yes. But I just think, you have to put it in perspective. What's your purpose, your health, everything? Honestly, it's only a job.
Yeah.
And I mean that respectfully. I know you have to provide, you got to do that. But honestly, my God, shit, the extra stuff that you do, climbing the corporate, sure, you got to, there's ones that are all in, or others that, you know what, you just kind of keep it real.
Yeah.
And you know what? And let stuff happen.
But like Lori said, that's your choice though, bud.
Yeah.
Sorry?
That's your, like Lori said a couple weeks ago, that's your choice. It's your driving, you're driving your own bus. Where do you want to go?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right?
You're the boss. Yeah.
There's no wrong.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But there's consequences of choices, right?
Right.
But back to that point, because I could hit a bucket balls, but okay, you know what? That's healthy for the mind.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So don't beat yourself up in the sense of, you got to be a little bit selfish. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can't be everything else unless you're cool with yourself. And that's just me. I don't know. Like I said, I'm new on this journey here. I'm thinking, okay, you know what? It's such a great time to be in this space in head wise.
Yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good.
I love it. It's
Thanks
great.
again, guys.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks so much. Yeah. Kenny, happy anniversary.
Yes,
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks for thank you to Amelia for letting you take some time out on anniversary night to do this. She's probably
I think she's happy I'm away.
Yeah, go away. Go do whatever you do.
Oh, you got, don't you, I think she's been asking all week, don't you have a podcast? Don't you have a podcast?
That's hilarious.
Yeah, no, it's only one night a week, me. Only one night a week.
That's
all right, boy.
That's
all right, boys.
Okay, boys, that's it.
Thank you.
Shall talk to you guys all later.
Thank you.
Bear, thanks again, man.
All right, that's the end of this Commerce Life. We'll be back soon with the next episode. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it. Give us feedback. Tell us what you think. Subscribe, like us, join us, share us, tell your friends about us. And we hope to see you next time with more commerce news.